Hi, I'm Ann Weiser Cornell, and welcome to Support for Stressful Times. We're gathering together here as we do once a month to feel the community of people who are practicing pausing and sensing and these other powerful ways we know to support ourselves and each other through stressful times. It's lovely to be with you. Lovely that we're here together. Yeah. So, my theme for the day is someone asked me to talk about election anxiety. The United States is going to have a consequential election in about 3 weeks, and that's actually consequential for the whole world. I don't want to assume that everyone in the world is anxious about it, but that could be. And anyway, we can generalize what we do today to all the times when world events that we have little control over feel like they're going to make a big impact on our lives and possibly a negative impact. That's the scary part. So I was feeling this anxiety last weekend, and it was unpleasant. There was an anxious feeling in my body, and I kept playing scenarios of the worst case I could imagine, which, according to the news, seems 50-50 likely to happen. And then I was wanting to distract myself from these feelings by doing some work. So I opened up my computer and I looked at my to-do list. And one of the things I needed to do that day was to write an exercise on how to handle anxiety, how to be present for ourselves when we're anxious. And do you know what? Immediately, I felt better, even when I imagined writing that exercise. Sort of like Barbara, who just wrote in the chat, I'm already feeling less stress. So let me take you through that same exercise. And if you're anxious about anything, that's appropriate to follow along. It doesn't have to be anxious about the same thing. And in fact, if your feelings are not feelings of anxiety, but other feelings, this will work too. It's really the essential message of support for stressful times, which is that by pausing and being with how we feel, we're getting through the times with more clarity, more ability to take action when we need to, more calm, if we pause and turn toward how we're feeling, which is in a way counterintuitive to the methods I learned when I was growing up in the American Midwest. So push away your difficult feelings, your stressful feelings, try not to feel them, all kinds of ways of distracting ourselves from that. No, this is what we learn in the focusing process, inner relationship focusing, and that's turning toward what we feel. Turning toward what we feel with compassion, with curiosity, with love for ourselves. Let's do it together. So it starts by just being aware of your body, which is a pause in the flow of life. Well, we've already paused because we're here on this webinar together. So pausing to be aware of your body. Feeling your body. Feeling your body here and now. And that can include feeling your feet and your seat and your back. Anything that's touching something, and maybe feeling what your hands are touching. Some of us operate through life far away from our bodies, which means it takes a while to come back in. Oh, right. There are my feet. Oh, right. There are my hips. And as you settle into your body, feeling your body's contact on what you're sitting on, Yeah, also being aware of your breathing. Yeah. And let awareness come inward so you're sensing in the inner area of your body. That includes your throat, your chest, lower down, stomach, abdomen. Aware in the inner area of your body where we so often have feelings and felt senses. Pausing to breathe and feel. Now, if you were feeling anxiety, I bet you're feeling some of it now. So notice how you are feeling in your body right now. Feelings can be emotions like anxiety or sadness or worry or fear. Feelings can also be body sensations like tightness, clenching, heartbeat, rapid heartbeat, heaviness. So I love the word feeling because it includes all of the possibilities that we're interested in. Noticing how you're feeling in your body right now. And as you begin to be aware of something there, say the words something like, I am sensing. Something in me feels, and then describe it. So I'm sensing something in me feels like clenching. I'm sensing something in me feels scared. Find the words that fit for you. It's an inside sense. This word fits, or this word isn't quite right. This word doesn't fit. Take your time. Now, when you feel something in your body, you might also feel something in you that doesn't like it, or that wishes it would go away, or that feels scared of getting overwhelmed by strong feelings that you're feeling. So let's notice that as well. There's the body feeling, and then is there something else that doesn't like it, that is kind of contending with it? If you're simply welcoming it and able to be with it with no problem, that's fine. We don't need to say anything else. But the thing that can really lead to getting stressed is this double feeling. The first feeling and the not liking the feeling, being afraid of it or wanting it to go away. So let's notice if that's there too. And if it is, we've got a longer sentence that I want you to say or invite you to say inside yourself. I am sensing something in me feels like scared. And I'm sensing something in me that is trying not to feel that way. Something like that. Find the words that fit for you. And both are there. So you say, and both are there. Try that. And I am here with both. So what's this I am here, I am sensing? Well, that's your self in presence, your larger self. And you're cultivating the ability to be present with yourself. Cultivating means it's going to get easier every time you practice it. So notice if what we've already been doing has brought a shift of some kind. Things feel a little easier. There's a little more breath inside. You can sit a little deeper. Just notice. So now, okay, there's another step to the process. You've found something in you that has a certain feeling, maybe anxiety. Let's take anxiety as an example. You've acknowledged a part of you that doesn't like it or is trying not to feel it. That's here too. You might turn toward the anxious feeling and, in a friendly way, invite it to let you know what it's especially anxious about. And don't assume you already know, because it might surprise you. It might surprise you. So I love this attitude we want to have when we're doing focusing, which is we're always ready to be surprised. It's like sitting with a friend and saying, how are you, but not answering for them, right? Waiting until they answer you. So what's especially anxious, or put in your word, whatever word you found, and then wait and sense. And it doesn't necessarily talk in words, actually, usually not, but it may show you pictures. It may give you thoughts, which is different from talking in words. You may just get it. Oh, that's what it is. And again, it might not surprise you. It might be just what you thought it was. And there's something powerful in actually listening. Saying, oh, yeah, I hear you. Okay, that's the next step. When it shows you something, you say, I hear you. I hear you. Now, there's a strong temptation at this point to argue with it, to say somehow, well, you don't have to worry about that. That's a method I learned from my mother when I was growing up in Illinois. Every time I expressed a troubled feeling, she would see if she could talk me out of it. I know she had the best of intentions, but somehow that doesn't end up feeling better. Let's try something different than that. Let's say, I really get this, talking to this place inside, like being tender and gentle to the scared part of you, as if it's a scared child. I really get how scared you are, and I understand you're especially scared about. Mm-hmm. Mine is especially scared about civil unrest and turmoil. I let it know I hear it. So when it lets you know what it's worried about, you let it know you hear it. And then if you do feel a shift, a deeper breath, a relaxing, definitely enjoy that and take that in. You can stay in this inner state of acknowledging as long as you like, but when you're ready to complete it, it's nice to complete it with an inner thank you. You know, this is an inner relationship. So you're coming into contact, saying hello, you're listening, and then at the completion of the conversation, you're saying, thank you. And you might also say, I'll be back. So I'm wondering about the folks that are here, what it is you're feeling these days, the stressful feelings especially, but tell me about anything. Tell us about anything. Send your chat to everyone. And does it help to do this kind of pausing, sensing, acknowledging, especially including the body? How was your body today? Now, I'm happy to say that I was telling you the story of how it was last Sunday that I was feeling very anxious, and I helped that shift by doing this kind of process with myself. Still feeling better. Janet wrote, "My body has started yawning." Oh, Lily writes about the election. She says, "One candidate reminds my younger self of her father, and she's not wanting to have to go through that again." Spending time with her, my younger self, in this way brings a shift and a sweet connection with her. So Lily found out what the something inside her was feeling anxious about, specifically about the election. You know, our feelings are longing for us to say hello to them, to be kind to them. And when we do that, we're completing something longed for. You know, sometimes if you haven't done this for a while, your feelings will say, "Where have you been?" And you say, "Oh, yeah, I know you would have wanted me to come sooner." Donald writes, "It's always good to be reminded to pause and turn toward the distress." Exactly. This is a turning toward. And you know, if I can turn toward whatever I'm feeling that's challenging, stressful, difficult, then the one who turns toward, that is I'm clearly being courageous, fearless even. There's a lot to be afraid of, really, in the world. Anyway, that's how it feels to me. But I don't have to be afraid of my own feelings. That's one thing we don't have to be afraid of. Our feelings are not scary to us. We may have come from a background where that seemed true. Our feelings got us in trouble, or we didn't know how to handle how many of them, how much there were, so they end up seeming scary. We can acknowledge that. But the truth is, our feelings are not here to hurt us. They're here to get some comfort from us, really. Bianca writes, "I loved saying, 'I will be back' at the end. Very soothing." Right. Because this inner relationship, it's a relationship of kindness, of listening, of inner support, of presence. And it doesn't just end in 10 minutes. It continues. So I'll be back, right? Allison writes, "I find I get very anxious and often stuck regarding decisions. I realize I maybe don't check in with my feelings regularly enough to be clear in making decisions." There you go. This contact, this inner relationship with yourself might be something that would benefit you to do a couple times a day, at least. And what's happened for me is it's become sort of automatic. Not completely. Sometimes I do forget myself and get cut off from that. But I pretty quickly notice that my body's sort of knocking on my door. "Hey, can you pay me some attention here?" Yeah. And that definitely can help with decisions. Because we want decisions not to be based only on what other people tell us or about what the rationals are or even what our emotions are, because our bodies are showing us more than just emotions. The body has in it what I like to call the inner sense of rightness and also the inner sense of wrongness. So if you're on track, there's a feeling about that. And if something's not right, if you need to pay attention, if you need to do a course adjustment, you get a message on that inside too, once you've got your inner relationship established. Bianca writes, "I read recently about the VUCA framework, that the world is so anxious because of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity." That sounds right to me. Those are hard things to deal with. Bianca goes on to write, but the reaction and what you just mentioned, we don't need to be afraid of our interpretations, emotions, and responses. Very useful to remind us of this. Oh, good. Thank you. I'm glad you feel that way. Allison goes on to say, Allison, we heard from Allison earlier about the decisions. The practice helped today, and your words help about courage and feelings. I've been afraid of mine and other people's feelings. Yeah, other people's feelings are another factor, aren't they? But if I'm afraid of other people's feelings, that being afraid of other people's feelings is my own feeling that I can be tender to. And I can have a process where I sense from the place in me that's scared of other people's feelings what it is about other people's feelings that it finds so scary. And that kind of specificity that you're listening, not just it's scared, but it's scared of this in particular. That helps a lot to calm things down inside. They have a term, generalized anxiety, when you just feel anxious and you can't pin it on anything. That can be one of the most difficult kinds of anxiety to deal with. So sit down and say hello to the feeling and sense from it, like ask it or invite it to show you what it is so anxious about. Then things get easier. Even if what it's anxious about is something hard to control, it still helps to know what it is. And Marika writes, I sensed a tension and I felt it was about the many stories I heard from clients today where they were damaged by authorities. Yeah, well, that's interesting. If you work with clients, it has an impact on you to hear their stories. And maybe a couple times a day when you work with clients, you want to take some time for yourself and really acknowledge what's coming up for you around that. Very good. I want to see, yes. Catherine in Santa Fe writes, I had a flu shot yesterday and feel punk today. And a part of me feels confused that I thought I was doing something good for myself, and yet it doesn't feel good. Yeah, that must be confusing, that to do something good for yourself doesn't always feel good in the body. And so you right now are acknowledging that feeling of confusion. And that's brilliant. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you, Lisa, for saying that this topic today has been motivating and empowering. Thank you so much for those of you who are sharing in the chat. I haven't read everyone's. What have we been practicing today? Well, we've been practicing the ability to pause and sense, and noticing that there may also be in a secondary sense, you can say, or a feeling about the feeling, I like to call it. I'm not only feeling whatever I feel, anxious, sad, angry, but maybe I'm also feeling like evaluation of that, criticism of my own feeling, or shame about it. Better keep that hidden. Nobody would want to know about it. So this second feeling about the feeling, really important to be in touch with as well. Because that's not you. Neither one of these feelings is you. It's something you feel. It's something you have, but it's not you. You are the one, I like to say, you are the one who feels these feelings, who can be present with them, who can acknowledge them, who can be aware of them. And that's why I like to start sentences with these words, I am sensing. So I am sensing something in me feeling scared and angry, and I'm sensing something in me finding those feelings uncomfortable and wishing they would go away. And I am here with both. Whew. Something really happens when you can include. Oh, by the way, if there's a third feeling, we do the same thing. I am feeling this, and I'm feeling that, and I'm feeling that, and I am here with all of them. And then from that place of being here with both or being here with all of them, I can spend time with one of them. One of them for now, another one later. So this spend time with comes from a place of self-love, self-compassion, but you don't have to find self-compassion first. Your self-compassion comes from doing this process. Maybe you notice that today. When you listen to yourself, your sense of caring about yourself actually increases. I found that to be true. Well, we're at the end of our time, and it's been lovely to be with you today. May you continue to pause, be with yourself, take time, treat yourself as somebody worthy of respect. Remember, your feelings are not scary. You can do this. We can do this. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.